Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Dr. Hynek.
Now, a UFO, the U in UFO, of course, simply means unidentified. It does not necessarily mean visitors from outer space. But it must be unidentified not just to the person who is puzzled by it, but it must remain unidentified after considerable study. Then and only then is it a UFO.
Timothy Shanks, UFO researcher from San Diego, California.
My research indicates to me that UFOs are physical types, there are psychic types, and there are biological types.
It's a very serious subject around the world now. Who across the world are studying the UFOs?
From the United States, we have Brad Steiger, John Keel. From France, we have, I'm not sure he's from France, Jacques Vallée, Professor Hynek, Brinsley Laporte Trench. I consider the work of the late Dr. Wilhelm Reich to be very important. A man named Meade Lane. One person from religion with a religious background, Gordon Melton, is doing some interesting work. In Europe, they are taking it a lot more seriously than here. The Netherlands, Brazil is also, England is experiencing a lot of sightings. All over the world, yes, Japan is interested. The USSR is very much interested.
After hundreds of interviews and thousands of hours in the field working hard at trying to understand this UFO phenomenon, it is my understanding that what some call the Greys, the gray aliens, are our ancestors. They were created before humans were, hence why they are called Greys and we are called human, like the hue of man, unlike our gray predecessors. It is also my understanding that some of the gray aliens possess some form of biocircuitry. Others have postulated that these beings are merely vessels or containers for other forces or energy to inhabit our three-dimensional physical reality. Military abductions of civilians is even becoming more and more prevalent, which adds another layer to the seemingly sinister deception that is occurring with little to no oversight. I believe the black budget programs were initiated after the treaty in order to produce technology that will continue to baffle and confuse the masses. According to some of those I have spoken to within the intelligence community, there's a project in the works that will utilize electromagnetic, acoustic, and optical technologies to bring about an orchestrated extraterrestrial event.
Are these spaceships from other worlds? Are we being visited by intergalactic aliens with a technology and civilization that dwarfs ours? Most scientists say no, they are not, because they cannot.
None of the evidence that I have examined would indicate any proof at all that we are being visited by extraterrestrials.
From my review of the Cash Landrum case, I would say that there's no question that an event took place, that those people were near something that was emitting radiation. I don't think it was an alien spacecraft, frankly. I think it was a nuclear-powered aircraft.
Look, it's one of these situations of where if I were a freelance writer or I'd like to make a story, I would love this story. It's great. It would make good copy. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I happen to be a scientist, and I have, you might say, the Hippocratic oath of a scientist. I will not say something is so until I'm very certain in my own mind that it is. So as far as the creatures are concerned, I honestly don't know.
Dr. Hynek, a noted astronomer from Harvard and Northwestern universities, has been a persistent investigator of UFO cases. In 1952, he was asked by the Air Force to join Project Blue Book, their UFO investigation unit. 17 years later, he joined Air Force Secretary Harold Brown at a press conference to announce the team's conclusions.
None of the evidence that I have examined would indicate any proof at all that we are being visited by extraterrestrials.
I was there at Blue Book, and I know the job they had. They were told not to excite the public. Don't rock the boat. And I saw it in my own eyes happen that whenever a case happened that they could explain, which was quite a few, they made point of that and let that out to the media. Things that the cases that were very difficult to explain, they would jump handsprings to keep the media away from it. For they had a job to do, to, whether rightfully or wrongly, to keep the public from getting excited.
The government will not release the documents for national security reasons. Citizens Against UFO Secrecy maintain that the government uses national security as a cover for withholding UFO-related material. Recently, They sued for release of a document from the National Security Agency. When they got it, it looked like this.
When you go through it all, and somebody actually added up the percentage of the paper, more than 3/4 of this document isn't there. It means quite clearly that there is a cover-up. Anybody who says the government isn't holding anything back has to say, well, except for that stuff they won't release. I mean, this is a UFO document. It tells about NSA information about UFOs. From my review of the Cash Landrum case, I would say that there's no question that an event took place, that those people were near something that was emitting radiation. I don't think it was an alien spacecraft, frankly. I think it was a nuclear-powered aircraft. There's no question there were overflights of unknowns, sometimes referred to as helicopters, but if you talk to the people, read the official government statements, it's clear that they were concerned, that there were scrambles of jets to go after these things, that they were being observed by highly qualified people. We were lied to, flat out, about those cases. As a matter of fact, some of the documents we eventually got clearly indicated that there were instructions to local base commanders. Don't say anything about the sightings at the other bases. Make it appear to be an isolated instance. Wilbert Smith stated flat out in his top secret memo, and I think it was declassified by mistake, frankly, that this is the most classified subject in the United States, even more so than the H-bomb, and that flat out flying saucers exist.
One of the most intriguing aspects of UFO sightings is their apparent isolation in space and time. Sightings are usually made in one place at a time and last for short periods, sometimes appearing out of nowhere and vanishing into nowhere. This is much more suggestive of a parallel reality than, let's say, visits from some faraway planet, in which case we might expect them to stick around for a while.